Hello, football fans. I'm Dennis Tobler in Las Vegas, and this is Football Forecast Weekly. And we're so glad to be back on the air. As of December 5th, the SAG-AFTRA strike is officially over. The Writers Guild strike is officially over. We are able to do a little bit more of serious programming now because during the past couple of months, we have been lost with our production changes, our deadline changes for the platforms that the show appears on. And it's been a hit or miss. And I have to apologize for that, but there's nothing that was in our control that we could have done differently. So today, I want to bring you up to speed with a little market analysis of the early bowl games. So we're going to take a look at all of the early bowl games before Christmas Eve. And then later this month, towards the end of the month, we're going to have our big college bowl game special. Now, I'm heading to Costa Rica next week. I'll be visiting with a lot of sports books and a lot of very bright bookmakers and bettors and syndicate operators. And I hope to have a fantastic special for you ready to go before the late bowl games and New Year's Eve. So make note of that. Get your pen and pencil out and your schedule book because here we go. I'm going to give you a rundown of the early bowl games and some insights that you're going to really need if you're going to bet on these games. So let's get rolling. And I'm going to start with the New Mexico Bowl. And that goes on December 16th. And that's where we're going to start here because some of these games matter and some of them don't. All right. So the first game we're going to look at is the New Mexico Bowl. And it's in Albuquerque, New Mexico. And New Mexico State has made it in. They won their conference, which was really surprise to everybody. They've been the surprise team all year out west, and they've been overlooked. But when they beat New Mexico, their arch rival, to get to this bowl game, people started to take a look. Now, the early line on this game opened as New Mexico State -1. I should say they're playing Fresno State, all right, in Albuquerque. So they're playing Fresno State. New Mexico State, the Aggies opened as a 1.5-point favorite. It quickly jumped to -3. The total was 50, went to 51. Look for a lot of scoring in this one. New Mexico State laying the 3. The number may go up before game time, but lay it. New Mexico's red hot, and Fresno is a little bit deflated from everything that they fell apart from at the end of the year. So in this matchup, keep your eye on New Mexico. And there will be a lot of points scored also. The next one is a bowl game of interest for everybody, I believe. It's called the LA Bowl, and it'll be at SoFi Stadium in Los Angeles. And UCLA, although they're not the host team, they're playing in this game against Boise State. UCLA opened as a 3-point favorite, dropped to 2.5. The total opened at 48 and is now 50 because there will be a lot of scoring in this game. Here's a quick, simple analysis. Boise State won their conference championship game here in Las Vegas, and they're very happy that they did that because it was a complete surprise. So Boise State's going into this game pretty happy. UCLA's going into this game pretty hungry, and I'm going to take UCLA in a blowout in this matchup. So don't watch the line movements, lay any points you have to, and take UCLA. The next game that day is the Independence Bowl. It'll be an evening or night game on the East Coast featuring California and Texas Tech. Now, this game's in Shreveport, Louisiana, so there's no home team per se that you can look at in this situation. California is out of the tough Pac-12 conference. They can put a lot of points on the board. They don't have much in the line of defense. Texas Tech opened at 3. It stayed at 3. The total opened at 58. It stayed at 58. So up to this point, there has been little or no movement, but I like Texas Tech in this matchup. I think they can score at will against California. So Texas Tech in the favorite looks to be the way to go. Okay, there's one final game that day is drawn a lot of interest from the bettors. It's the Myrtle Beach Bowl, and it's in Conway, South Carolina. And don't ask me where that is, but I have friends that'll be there, so I'm getting some good input. Ohio U is taking on Georgia Southern in this matchup. Ohio U opened as a 2-point favorite, and the line has quickly moved the other way to Georgia Southern being favored by 4. What does that tell you? That tells you Georgia Southern is going to win this game in a blowout. They're just too fast for Ohio. The total also went from 54 to 49. So that's the direction the game's going. Minimal amount of scoring. Ohio's going to play some defense, but Georgia Southern has too big an offense to get by. Lay the 4 points, take Georgia Southern in this matchup. And then we get to Sunday of week 15 in the NFL. I've got a couple of early games for you to get down on because the lines are really juicy for these games. Now, remember, we're talking about week 15 in the NFL. The first matchup I have for you is Green Bay is -3 at home against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. This one here is easy picking. Green Bay, the line will obviously go up before kickoff in this game, and I look for them to get a lot more respect before the game goes. I'm going to take Green Bay here. They're only 3-point favorites. I'm sure it'll go up. Take Green Bay, lay the points at home over Tampa Bay. The second matchup is another good one. It's the LA Rams at SoFi Stadium taking on the horrible Washington Commanders. The line on this game started at, I don't know, 5.5 or something like that, quickly went to 6.5. I don't know why it's not 13. So my point is that the Rams at home against the weakest team maybe in the league that's in complete disarray, Washington, and only lay 6.5 points, less than a touchdown. We're looking at a blowout here, folks, so take the Rams in that matchup. All right, quickly now, we have one more game or two more games I'm going to take a look at before our break, and that would be on December 16th or 18th, I'm sorry, December 18th, we've got the famous Toastery Bowl. Now, if you people don't know where the famous Toastery Bowl is, I'm sorry for you for not knowing, but it's in Charlotte, North Carolina. And obviously, not many of us care to go to North Carolina for any reason. So it's not really an exciting matchup. It's Western Kentucky against Old Dominion. And Old Dominion's a 2.5-point favorite. I favor Western Kentucky in this matchup. I probably won't even watch the game. I don't care about it. The final game that I'm going to throw out for you before our break is a big one, big money move. Pay attention to this one. We're looking at the Boca Raton Bowl. All right. And we all know that it's in Boca Raton, Florida, obviously. So in this matchup, we got Syracuse and South Florida. Not two of the biggest powers in the country, that's for darn sure. Syracuse opened as a 5.5-point favorite in this matchup. It was quickly bet down to 3.5. I looked today and it's 3 and some places 2.5. What does that tell you? That tells you South Florida is going to win this game straight up. So take South Florida with the points or on the money line for a better option at the odds and ride your way to the bank in this one. The total's 68. There'll be a lot of scoring, and it looks to me like South Florida is going to do most of it. So take South Florida on the money line in the Boca Raton Bowl. I'll be back after these short messages with more College Bowl information. Hello, football fans. Dennis Tobler here with some great, exciting news for the 2024 season. You can watch Football Forecast weekly on many outlets, from Astound TV Network to footballforecast.com, gamblingbroadcast.com, the Gambling Broadcast Network on YouTube, and many, many, many more stations. Also, I want to tell you that you can access the audio to Football Forecast Weekly on every podcast channel. So pick your favorite podcast channel and make sure you bookmark Football Forecast Weekly for every week. We're on Amazon Music or Apple Music, Amazon, all the way to Spotify and TuneIn. Every one of them carries Football Forecast Weekly. So if you want to win and you want to win big, stay tuned to Football Forecast Weekly each week right here on this station. At the end of the week, I make my picks. I put them up on footballforecast.com. Anyone who wants to purchase my picks for the weekend can do so by going to footballforecast.com and clicking on the page to buy the picks. Now, also on that page, I have my money management system. So even if you don't want to buy the picks, go to footballforecast.com, read about the money management system, and learn how you can better become a winner at betting on pro football. So don't forget it. Write it down. Footballforecast.com. Not only can you view the show there, but you can get my weekend selections there too. Well, welcome back to Football Forecast Weekly, everyone. We're halfway through the early bowl games before Christmas Eve. So let's take a look at the rest of them now and give you the market analysis that I've deciphered from these games to better help you be a winner in them. We're going to take a look at the it's the Gasparilla Bowl. Okay, the Gasparilla Bowl from Raymond Stadium in Tampa, Florida. All right, I'm sorry, folks, but the Gasparilla Bowl or Gasparilla Bowl, I don't know whether you pronounce it like the Spanish or whether you pronounce it in English. And we will probably learn what a Gasparilla is during the game. At this point, I don't know. Anyway, it's a home team matchup here. Central Florida is in this game, and it's against Georgia Tech. It's very close. There will be a home field advantage. There will be supporters from both teams there raising hell and making their voices heard. Now, Central Florida opened as a 6-point favorite. They've been overrated all year. I mean, it seems like the bookmakers have way too many points on Central Florida, evidently going off their past performances in years back. They opened at 6 in this game. They went down to 5, and now they're down to 4.5. Georgia Tech has quite an offense. They have no defense. This should be a high-scoring game. The total went from 61 to 64. So in this matchup, if you want to be safe, play the over. Over 64 seems to be the number here. This game could end up with both teams reaching 40 in the scoring column. As far as the line goes, since the movement indicates taking Georgia Tech, I'm going to take the Ramblin' Wreck and hope they do it. And at plus 4.5, it looks like a bargain here anyway. A lot of scoring in this one, a lot of excitement. Okay, Saturday of that weekend, the weekend of the 23rd of December, we start off the day with the Birmingham Bowl. And this is Duke versus Troy in Birmingham, Alabama, obviously. Troy State opened up a 4.5-point favorite, but before the day was over, the line moved to 7. So Duke evidently has some transfer portal problems. They evidently have some injury problems. If they can't keep up with Troy, and I don't think they can, because now the line stands at 7.5. So that line move went from 4.5 to 7.5 on Troy. You do not want to dismiss that. They're the better team. You must take Troy in that situation. Now there's another game called the Camellia Bowl that I got confused with the Gasparilla Bowl. The Camellia Bowl has Arkansas State and Northern Illinois. The game's a pick, and I'm going to let you pick it because I don't care about it. Nobody cares about it. I can't believe it's a bowl game, especially this late in the season. So it's your choice, Arkansas State or Northern Illinois. The game's a pick. All right. Now let's get to some more serious matters here. The Armed Forces Bowl. This is an interesting matchup, Fort Worth, Texas. This one has James Madison, who has surprised everyone all year, won their games, but they weren't eligible for the Bowl Series bowl games. So they get landed here in the Armed Forces Bowl versus Air Force. Now, I don't know if many of you know about Air Force's offense, but they throw about 3 or 4 passes a game. That's it. They run the triple option both ways. They run it better than anybody in the country. And that's how they control the ball, control the time, and keep the other teams off the field. And that's what they're going to have to do if they're going to beat James Madison. James Madison, to me, came up as 3-point favorite in this game. That's a very surprising number for a team that's their first year in this division of football. And Air Force is a solid team. They are disciplined. They don't make any mistakes. And I think Air Force is going to beat James Madison straight up. So take the 3 to be safe, but you can bet the money line with confidence as far as I'm concerned. Also, this total went from 44 to 41. So we know there's going to be a lower scoring game than people think. And Air Force should control the ball and the tempo and the game. So I'm going with Air Force on the money line. All right, let's move to the Potato Bowl. I'll give you one guess where the Potato Bowl is. It's in Boise, Idaho, on that blue field that nobody likes to watch football being played on. But they got a big game. Georgia State playing Utah State. Utah State definitely is going to have a home field advantage here. Georgia State opened a 2.5-point favorite. Are you kidding me? Over Utah State? That number has dropped to a pick at this time. And by the time the game goes off, Utah State will be favored in that matchup. And that's who I like, is Utah State. Utah State will score as many points as they have to. This is going to be another high-scoring game. The game's listed as a pick right now, so get on Utah State and the over in the Potato Bowl. All right, now the Ventures Bowl from Mobile, Alabama. And boy, is that a venture. Let's take a look at South Alabama and Eastern Michigan. I'm pretty sure nobody cares about these two teams except for the people who go to school at those places. And I really don't know how they make the bowl games, but they did. South Alabama opened a 17-point favorite over Eastern Michigan. And as far as I can remember from the season last, Eastern Michigan is nobody. Anybody can beat them. UNLV could beat them. So it's surprising to see them in a bowl game. The line did drop to 16. South Alabama favored by 16. But look, when you got a game like this, look for the favorite to score at will. I think South Alabama will cover it. I don't encourage betting it, but that's the way I'd have to go. All right, here's a bowl game that I know a lot about here at Allegiant Stadium in Las Vegas, Nevada. This one's called the Las Vegas Bowl, of course. And we've got Utah from the West facing up against Northwestern from the state of Illinois. And this one here should be an exciting matchup. I know there's going to be a ton of people here. Utah is going to have the home field advantage. They travel well, and they love to come to Las Vegas. And in this matchup, Utah opened 9. They dropped to 7. They've had a lot of injury problems. Northwestern played the end of the Big Ten season very, very well. They just missed coming up big and playing in a championship game. And they've had a better team this year than they have recently. The number dropped on Utah from its open at 9 down to 7. And the total from 42.5 to 41. Now, my play in this game is the under, okay, because Utah's tough defense may shut out Northwestern. And I don't know if 7 is too many points or not in a matchup like this. It's not going to have many points scored in it. Utah's going to have to take the ball down the field a little better than they have towards the end of the year. But I think they'll be able to do that against a weak Big Ten opponent. I mean, Northwestern's not known for big bowl game wins. And it looks to me like Utah's going to run all over them here. So I'd take Utah, lay the 7. And more than that, play under 41 in the Las Vegas Bowl coming up later in this month. All right, now it's on to Hawaii as we move ourselves west during bowl season. The Hawaii Bowl this year features Coastal Carolina against San Jose State. All right, those of you who are unfamiliar with San Jose State, they had a real good season this year, probably the best season ever. They're sitting along the top of their league with a new coach that has changed the attitude at San Jose State. Coastal Carolina, they just don't have enough players. They're small. They're not athletic. They may be fast, but they cannot compete against San Jose State. San Jose State's a 9.5-point favorite in this game. They're going to pass their lights out. It should be a big blowout win. Take San Jose State in the last bowl game before Christmas Day. And then I'll remind you, if you need reminded, that Christmas Day will be allocated to the NBA playoffs, and the NBA will take over Las Vegas over that weekend, along with the NFL games. So we'll take another break, short break right here, and I'll be back shortly as we take a look at some other exciting information coming along for bowl season that you may want to take a look at right now. So we'll take a break and we'll be right back.
Now place your bets. This groundbreaking film details the dramatic rise of legal sports betting in Las Vegas and its growth into a multi-billion-dollar industry worldwide. Through in-depth interviews, personal accounts, and vintage footage, we highlight the key elements and milestones that shaped the sports betting industry into what it is today. This history also dovetails with the changing fortunes of Las Vegas as a gambling town at turns overseen by the elements of organized crime, corporate interests, and the U.S. government. Featured prominently in the film are pioneer odds makers and historians who witnessed these events. Today, betting on sports is a popular pastime and a lifestyle choice for many Americans. Its appeal incorporates the innate drive for competition and the rewards of winning. Watch Now Place Your Bets on Amazon Prime and NowPlaceYourBets.com.
Welcome back, everyone. Dennis Tobler here in Las Vegas. The last portion of the show I wanted to save a little bit to talk about the Now Place Your Bets documentary. It's the story of sports betting in America, and it's a long history, 100 years, a 5-part documentary that is featured on Amazon Prime Video and on NowPlaceYourBets.com. I know you heard that in the prior spot, but I wanted to entice you to watch this film because this is the time of year when you can put it all together and see how we went from underground gambling to the most gambling sought after market in the world. So you want to make sure you mark down for your holiday viewing, Now Place Your Bets. Now, I also wanted to say a few things about some of the people that we've had around and it's time to say goodbye to. During the last couple of years, we've lost very important friends of the show and people who worked on the show. And the first one that comes to mind is Steve Printke, known as Steve Penny. He was my partner for many years here in Las Vegas, and he passed away earlier this year. And Steve, you are greatly missed, let me tell you. Before Steve passed away, another friend named Hal passed, and we were all in the same business, and it made it tough for everybody. We're still mourning these guys, and it's too bad. Also, I'm sad to report that the best man at my wedding, Curtis Bloom, has passed away. We hated to see him go. It's way too young. And he left behind twins here in Las Vegas who will forever remember him, and we will too. So we want to say goodbye to Curtis Bloom. There are so many more. One of my favorite people in the world in Las Vegas, Mr. Ivan Burris, who was a partner with me in the racehorses that we raced in California, a partner with me in the sports betting, a partner with me in the real estate operations here. Ivan passed away a couple of years ago, last year, not a couple of years ago, last year, and he is greatly missed also. So I hate to leave the show on a downer this week, so I won't leave it on a downer. We miss everyone. Everybody left their mark in history, and most of it is documented in Now Place Your Bets. So what we're going to do now is leave you with the film trailer for Now Place Your Bets. If you're listening on an audio channel, you may want to try to find a video channel or our favorite network, Astound Network, to watch the trailer for the documentary, because it is a great film. We have won many film festival awards. Amazon Prime is now the beneficiary of this great movie. So take your time and watch it. And now I want to present to you the trailer for Now Place Your Bets. And I will be back with our bowl game special in a couple of weeks. Life's all about sizing up your chances. You take the good with the bad, figure out your odds, and choose a path you think will take you further ahead than you were when you started. Sometimes you win, sometimes you lose. If you lose, you just pick yourself up and try again.
The only reason you play is to win. The only reason you gamble is to win.
Sports and sports gambling go hand in hand, and with the evolution of more leisure time, more disposable income, etc., it's just gotten bigger and bigger and bigger.
If you get 100 gamblers in a room, they range from 21 to 91. They range from men to women, black to white, Catholic to Muslim. They range from whatever you like. Everybody bets the games. I mean, one way or another.
I want to be on the top of the new generation. More people play on sports than poker. You know, you go to an office on a Friday night to work, a corporate 9-to-5 job, they're not playing cards. They're talking fantasy football and they're saying, let's do the parlay cards. Everybody bets.
The program you are about to see is an intelligent, informative discussion of football.
The explosion of offshore sports betting came about almost overnight, in the blink of an eye.
There's so much innovation, and it's changing constantly. Esports, it's brand new, and now it's absolutely booming.
Have you ever wondered how sports betting became so popular? Here's how.